Hello, hello, hello. We are back. Football's back, baby. It's back and it's better than ever. Actually, that part's probably not true. These two games were very, very sloppy. So, today's episode, we're gonna recap the Thursday and the Friday game, and then we're gonna make our predictions for the rest of the games that are gonna be on Sunday and Monday. I would have loved to do this on Wednesday, but I have just been incredibly busy with life and new job and always working and not having time to record anything at all. So I know I've streamed a couple of times. I'm gonna stream again later tonight. So hit that like button, subscribe, let your friends know. Fucking let's do it. All right. So opening night, the Kansas City Chiefs, the defending Super Bowl champions, the back-to-back champs, who are who are going for the three-peats, are going against who went up against the Ravens, who they played last year in the AFC Championship game, and the big storyline was, oh, they got Derrick Henry and they didn't run the football enough, and guess what? They didn't run the football as much either, and they could have at least tied the game, or I mean, by the end, I know they were going to go for two, but Isaiah likely just had that toe slightly too big, just that foot right on the fucking line. Otherwise, but yeah, this was a good game overall. But unfortunately for the rest of the NFL, I think the Chiefs has just gotten a lot better. And I say that, I mean, if you saw the game, you know why. Because Xavier Worthy is going to be a fucking menace. He's going to be a fucking problem. And he's only going to get better from here. I mean, is he a gadget player right now? Sure. I mean that's how Tyreek Hill started. Tyreek Hill started as a gadget player, and then he learned how to run routes, and then Tyreek Hill is now arguably one of the best. He is one of the best receivers in the NFL. But you can absolutely make the argument that Tyreek Hill is the best receiver in the NFL just because of his speed. You don't see anything like it. And Xavier Worthy's faster. And a lot of people comparing Xavier Worthy to Deshaun Jackson, which I can see is true, but just him and Tyreek, like Deshaun and Tyreek Hill are two speed demons, and that's what the Chiefs miss. Even though they've won these past two Super Bowls, they really never had a deep passing game. Like that was the one thing that their offense was missing with Tyreek Hill. Like they couldn't really open the field up with the deep ball. And now they just gotten better, and they still have a great defense. They still have Steve Spagnuolo. This defense still looks just as good. They lost. Oh my God, what's his name? I should know this. Why am I blanking on the guy they traded away to Tennessee? What the fuck was his name? Not McDuffie. All right, hold on. We gotta look this up. Hold on. I'm looking like a fool right now. I should know. I should know better. Chiefs trade corner back to Titans. L'Jarius Sneed. That's what it was. They traded L'Jarius Sneed to the Titans, and even with that, it didn't really matter. The defense still looked really good. So it's unfortunate for the rest of the 31 other NFL teams, including my Eagles. The fucking Chiefs are just gotten a whole lot better. And now the premiere of our game in Sao Paulo, Brazil. The first time we ever played the Southern Hemisphere, and let me tell you, God, we were sloppy. I'm happy that my Eagles won 34-29, but the game was just very, very sloppy. From the field being looking like shit, and I just find it funny how people are complaining about the field from last night, but we're complaining about the field in Super Bowl 57 when we were playing the Chiefs. But hey, it is what it is. It still sucks that we lost that game, but it's time. We just got to move on from it. What was that? Oh yeah, the very, very bad start from the Eagles. Saquon Barkley's first carry, he slipped and he lost 5 yards. Jalen Hurts' first throw was an interception to McKinney, the safety that I wanted the Eagles to get, but he went to Green Bay instead, probably because he offered him the money that we wouldn't. But what really, and then there's a lot of miscommunication between Cam Jurgens and Jalen Hurts early on in this game. He snapped too early. Jalen Hurts missed a snap from him, and it's just they got to work on that a lot this week. The center quarterback exchange needs to be worked on. And but listen, the positives. There's a lot of positives in this game. Saquon Barkley is absolutely worth the money. He he was the first Eagles player since Terrell Owens to score 3 touchdowns in his debut game. One receiving, two rushing, and he just looked absolutely amazing. Saquon, like I said already, he's absolutely worth the money that we are paying him. Quinyon Mitchell looked really good as a cornerback. They only completed like a handful of passes towards his way, and he only really, from what I've seen from the game, he only made really one mistake by letting what's his name? Was it Dobbs? Yeah, it was Romeo Dobbs was killing us all night. He had like he had like 4 catches for like 100 some odd yards. We couldn't stop him, and he had a big rushing touchdown. He had a rushing touchdown of like what 30 some yards too. They used him really well against us. But I think the difference at the end of the day, the defense was the defense in the first 2 drives, only giving up 6 points. Because if they gave up 14, we wouldn't have won the game. It would have been 23, so it would have been 37-34. Green Bay would have won that game. So, but yeah, the defense looked really good. There's a lot of bright spots. Nick Bond, I believe his name is it Nick Bond? Yeah, it's not. It's Bond. 15 tackles and 2 sacks on Jordan Love, and Nakobe Dean played really good football. His only big fuck up was missing that pick six. That could have helped us out a lot. That would have been like what fucking 41-23. That would have been a crazy ass score. Other than that, I love and the other big thing that I saw from our offense was a lot. There's a lot of pre-snap motion, which I absolutely loved to see. Didn't do that at all last year. No pre-snap motion, or like very little. Every play, someone else was moving either in, out, or across the formation. That and obviously AJ Brown and Devontae Smith are still dogs. Goddard, I wish Goddard got a couple more catches. Dotson didn't really get involved. I think he was targeted like once, maybe twice. One of them was always for a pick six as well. But the field was too damn slippery. So hopefully we do not go back down to Sao Paulo, Brazil. But I'm glad we got the win. Now let's make our predictions for the rest of the NFL Week One. I'm just so happy that football's back. Like it's gonna be sloppy. Like there was a lot of sloppy football on Thursday and yesterday, and I expect more sloppy football from the rest of the other 30 teams. 28 teams. I swear I can do it. I swear I know math. I know how to do math. I know how to count. All right, so start with Atlanta and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has always had a very good defense. That's their staple as an organization, and they always have a legitimate running game. Now Russell Wilson is hurt. I believe he's not play. I don't think he's playing because he's dealing with that calf injury. I believe Justin Fields is rumored to start, so that hurts them a lot. But I think this is going to be a really low scoring game. I don't think Atlanta's going to get off to a hot start at all. The main concern for for the Falcons is Kirk Cousins and how well he adjusts with that torn Achilles. Hopefully he doesn't fuck his Achilles up again really soon because they already lost what's his name for the year. They lost a third wide receiver, Rondale Moore. They lost him for the year on like during training camp, I believe. Sorry, I just had to adjust my chair. And their defense definitely got better with the additions of Judon and Justin Simmons, which now looking back from now to where the draft was during the NFL draft, we all thought Atlanta was foolish and stupid for taking Michael Penix Jr. But now with these moves, it looks a lot better, and they definitely have insurance at the backup quarterback position, which is always nice. And Penix looked pretty decent during the preseason. I liked what I saw from him. But now overall in this game, I'm gonna go with Atlanta. It's gonna be a very close game. I think it's gonna be a low scoring game. I think it's gonna be around 20-17 Atlanta. Bills at Cardinals. Arizona played a lot of tough football last year. I don't know really what they were doing during the preseason. I think, yeah, like I said, I'm gonna admit I did really watch a lot of Arizona during the preseason because they're not on during on the East Coast times. I haven't really heard anything a lot for them. A lot of it's been quiet. I don't know how Kyler Murray's doing. He's supposedly he's recovered fully from the knee injury. But my eyes will be on Marvin Harrison Jr. when we talk about the Arizona Cardinals. The best receiver coming out of this year's draft, and obviously the son of the legendary Marvin Harrison, who played for the Colts. He is my pick for Offensive Rookie of the Year. A lot of people have Caleb Williams or Jane Daniels, but I think it's going to be Marvin Harrison Jr. But in the beginning game, I don't think the Cardinals will have enough to beat the Bills. But do think it will be a shootout because I don't think Buffalo's defense is going to be as good as it once was because obviously they lost a lot of players. They lost Tre'Davious White. They lost both. I believe both their safeties are not there anymore. Micah Hyde and Jordan Pointer. One of them went down to Miami. I know that for a fact. I don't remember which one, but like I said, I think the Bills are going to win this game. And speaking of Caleb Williams, here it is. The Titans are going to Chicago. Caleb Williams' debut NFL game, playing against the Titans, who have done probably I would say complete 180. They're now more offensively focused. The head coach is now was the offensive coordinator for Cincinnati. Oh my god, I'm blanking on his fucking name. His his dad is the offensive line coach for them now. He used to be in Cleveland. Not Shanahan. Not fucking. Not even Shanahan. Who did the Titans hire? See, now I'm blanking already. I'm making myself look bad. Titans head coach. And I can't even spell coach. Brian Callahan. There you go. Brian Callahan is the head coach for the Titans. I'm looking to see how Will Levis does in his second year. They added a lot of offensive power. Firepower. They added Tony Pollard. He's going to be good. I think he's going to be at least a solid running back. Drafted more offensive linemen. I think the offensive line is going to be a lot better than it was last year. Like I previously said, Brian Callahan's dad is a famous offensive line coach. He's on the staff now. I think the Titans will be, but I think the Titans are going to be a very surprise pick for a lot of people, surprising team for a lot of people. Only because I think the AFC South is still pretty wide open, even with Houston adding up everything. But I'll talk about more of that in another video that I plan on doing right after this. So this is just the predictions, and now the Bears, obviously Caleb Williams, they drafted Rome Odunze, they picked up Keenan Allen, and they already had DJ Moore, who's a very very good wide receiver. You could say he's the top 10 wide receiver in the league. Like top 10, top 15, like a lot of like DJ Moore is a very underrated guy when it comes to wide receivers. Offense was looking a lot better. Only 10 of 20 completions throughout the preseason. I don't know who to pick this game, man. This is a very coin flippy kind of game. But I'm gonna say that I'm gonna go with the Titans on the road. That's what I'm gonna go ballsy. I'm gonna go with the Tennessee Titans on the road. And now Patriots are at Cincinnati. Joe Burrow's looking healthy. Jamar Chase is gonna play this week, or at least he's no longer asking for his contract. At least that's what the rumor is. Or I believe no, that's not the rumor. The rumor was what I've heard was that the Bengals were offering him a contract this offseason and it never came. That's why he never played in the preseason. And now it's gonna be his decision to play on the field. If they do, I mean I don't think it really matters this week because I don't think the Patriots are a very good team this year. They're not gonna be a good team this year. They can only have like I think they're only gonna win like 3 or 4 games and the Bengals should easily win this game. And now AFC South rivalry. Texans are at the Colts. Rematch of last year's week 18 to basically decide that who wins the division. That's what was on the line last year because the Jags lost to the Titans. But if the Jags won, the Jags would have won the division. But anyway, Texans got a lot better. They got Joe. They traded for Stephon Diggs. They traded for Joe Mixon. They got a lot more offensive firepower. They signed Daniil Hunter. They signed Al Shazier from the Titans. Who was a good linebacker. So obviously the Texans upgraded all over the place. And the Colts, they were a very good team last year, despite Anthony Richardson getting hurt at week 4. think it was against the Texans too, which is ironic. And that's the Colts main. That's the Colts main thing. Is like, how can Anthony Richardson stay healthy, and what does he and see if he's an actually a really good quarterback. But in this game, I'm gonna go with the Houston Texans just because I'm more of a known commodity. Now, this is probably one of the most. This is probably gonna be one of the better games, one of the more highlighted games. Very two second place teams last year: the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Miami Dolphins. Both teams had a chance to win the divisions, and both teams collapsed very badly, just like the Philadelphia Eagles did last year. Dolphins could have had the at least the number. Well, I think they were in a fight for the number one seed for a while, but definitely number two seed they could have had, and that would have been and that would have made their trip a lot easier to the playoff. Like they probably would have had a chance to win at least one playoff game last year, but obviously that didn't happen. They lost to Kansas City on the road in that frozen tundra. And the Jags, they were what 8-3 at one point. They were definitely the number one seed in the AFC, and like end of November, early December. And Trevor Lawrence got hurt, and they just completely collapsed after that. And they had other injuries too. Christian Kirk got hurt. I remember that because he was on my fantasy team. But luckily, I didn't need him to win my league. But anyway, they picked up who did they pick up from Buffalo? Gabe Davis. They picked up Gabe Davis from Buffalo. They drafted Brian Thomas Jr., the receiver for LSU. So Jags still have some good offensive firepower. Dolphins are obviously the Dolphins. They signed a couple defensive players, and I think they're both pretty evenly matched. But I'm gonna go with the Dolphins slightly. I think it's gonna be a good game, a close game. Dolphins slightly. Panthers at Saints. I know the Panthers signed a lot of people. I know they upgraded their offensive line, but I really don't see the Panthers being a much better football team than they were last year. They may get another 2 or 3 wins. They may be like 4-13, 5-12. But yeah, I still see them finishing last place in the AFC and NFC South. Excuse me. Definitely gonna be another top. They're gonna get another top five pick. Even with the and the yeah. So the number one thing for them was it's gonna be Dave Canales, who they hired from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and see if he can establish a good relationship with Bryce Young and see if they can move the football up and down the field. But like I said, we'll see what happens. And Saints have been a pretty quiet team. Not a lot of things coming from the New Orleans Saints. They were second in division last year. They could have won. They could have won the division last year, and unfortunately, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won, beating the Panthers in a really low scoring game. And I don't know why I don't know why some people are saying that the Saints are going to finish last place in the NFC South. Obviously, Atlanta's gotten better. Atlanta's the most improved team, and a lot of people are picking Atlanta to win the division. But so we'll see about that. Tampa Bay kept all their players, so they should be just as good as they were last year. And like I said, Saints, I don't know. They're an unknown commodity to me, but I'm going to pick them to beat the Panthers in this game. And now the Vikings are at the Giants. Giants had an interesting offseason. They didn't keep Saquon Barkley. They obviously let him go in free agency. But they did trade for Brian Burns, so I think their defensive front is going to be a lot better than it was last year. And that's probably their only good. That's probably their only really good position skills is the defensive line, defensive fronts for the New York Giants. Everything else is well, not everything else is trash, but I do like them drafting Malik Neighbors. I think he's going to be a really good wide receiver. But obviously, the obvious problem for the Giants is Daniel Jones. He's obviously it's a quarterback-driven league, and I don't think he's a very good quarterback. He's very overrated. This is basically his last year to prove that he's a quality starter. Otherwise, he's going to be cut, and he's going to be a backup quarterback for the rest of his career. Vikings, they lost J.J. McCarthy in the preseason after looking pretty good. I mean, obviously, preseason is preseason. You don't really play a lot of people in the preseason, and quarterbacks don't see a lot of complex defenses. So JJ is someone who who a lot of people thought was either going to win the starting job or he was going to play later on in the year. I thought he was going to definitely play later on in the year, not start right away. But it's a damn shame. He's going to recover from that knee surgery. He'll be back next year. But other than that, it's really up to Sam Darnold. So, but I do think he's going to be the Giants because I don't think the Giants are good enough. They're just not, I don't think the Giants are going to be a good team. I think, like I said with the Panthers, I think they're going to be a top 5 team in the draft, in the NFL draft. And now the 4 o'clock games, Raiders at Chargers, I think is going to be a low key, very good one. Chargers, obviously they have a new head coach in Jim Harbaugh, who was from Michigan. He had a good first stint in the NFL with the 49ers, led them to 3 NFC title games and obviously a Super Bowl, which they didn't win, losing to his losing to his brother. And they just Justin Herbert's dealing with that injury. Hopefully I believe he's back practicing and he's supposed to start. But my main question for the Chargers is what are they doing for offensive weapons? I know they drafted like receivers, like they drafted Ladd McConkey, and I believe they picked up a couple other players. I believe Shark got picked. They picked up Shark. He was okay, but I know they're gonna be a more physical football team than they were last year. And the Raiders, they looked a lot better under Coach Antonio Pierce. The main question is, can they pick that up? Garner Minshew starting for the Raiders. We'll see how they do. Devontae Adams may not be happy, but I do like their defensive line addition of Christian Wilkins. He's picked up from Miami, paid him a lot of money, and obviously Max Crosby is still one of the best defensive ends in the league. He was up for Defensive Player of the Year last year. I love Max Crosby. He's awesome. I don't know who I'm gonna pick this game. I'm gonna pick the home for now. I'm gonna pick the home team. I'm gonna pick the Chargers just because they're at home. And now we got another. And now another the other four one of the other 4 o'clock games. Denver at Seattle. Seattle being one of the toughest places to play in the NFL. New head coach and Mike McDonald, a lot of young players, young roster. They took I believe yeah, Peter Schrager was saying that they hired the offensive coordinator from the Washington Huskies last year, who made it to the national championship game. So I'm interested to see how this offense performs. The defense is supposed to be I don't know how good their defense is going to be because in Mike McDonald's first year as DC in Baltimore, their defense was okay because they were learning a whole new system. I but so it's probably the same thing. Then it'd probably be average in the middle, maybe creeping top 10. And Denver obviously starting Bo Nix. They're starting the rookie quarterback for the beginning of the year. Now they can't bench him unless either he gets hurt or even if he looks bad, they really can't bench him, which I thought was a mistake. I don't think I'm still in the belief that you really should not start rookie quarterbacks. But I know how much the game is catered towards the NFL quarterbacks, and you should. A lot of people like to just throw them out there, and there's a good mix of like college football and like college football schemes in the NFL. But I'm still in the old school belief that you should not start rookie quarterbacks if you can. But obviously, some guys are talented enough to start, just like we were talking about Caleb Williams, and we're going to talk about Jay McDaniels. I don't think Bo Nix was that good. Well, I mean, he played a lot of college football. He played like what 6 years in the NFL in college, not the NFL. Actually, yeah, 6 years in college, and so we'll see. I mean, Sean Payton liked him a lot, so obviously that's why he drafted him. But I'm going with the home team here. I'm going with the Seattle Seahawks just because they're at home. Cowboys at the Cleveland Browns. Cowboys off-season drama 24/7 365. Their most annoying football team in all of the NFL. Obviously, as you can see, I'm an Eagles fan, and I despise the Dallas Cowboys. And what I said, and I think even if you're not like an NFC East team fan, like you're not a Giants or a Commanders fan, the Cowboys are still the most annoying fucking team in football. You're talking about them 24/7, like the whole like these fucking sports shows, fucking First Take and whatever's going on FS1, talking about the Dallas Cowboys 24/7. Oh, Dak Prescott's deal not done yet. Is he a good quarterback? Da 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 da. CD Lamb, he had the whole CD Lamb drama, which they finally signed him to a big deal, which is great for them. Being the second highest paid wide receiver behind Justin Jefferson, which where I thought he was going to be. Uh, I don't think the Cowboys got. I don't think they got better, but I don't think they got worse. They signed a couple of good players. They signed Eric Kendricks from I believe he was on the Chargers. Yeah, he's from the Chargers last year, and they re-signed Zeke. The running back room is not going to be that good. They got Zeke and Dalvin Cook. So it's gonna be a lot on Dak Prescott's shoulder, and we'll see what happens with that. And Cleveland, it's got to be the Deshaun Washington show. Nick Chubb's not gonna be playing for at least the first 4 weeks. I don't know when he's gonna come back from that devastating knee injury, but hopefully he can still play football again. I believe he's gonna slated to come back either like week 5 or week 6. I haven't really read much up on him. Amari Cooper is still one of the better wide receivers in the NFL. One of the best, definitely one of the best route runners in the NFL. Just because fuck Dallas, I'm picking the Cleveland Browns. And honestly, I think their defense is still going to be a top 5 defense in the NFL. And I'm going to repeat what I said. Fuck Dallas. I'm picking Cleveland. And Commanders at Bucks. Commanders had a whole regime change. I don't think they're going to be anything new. No, that doesn't make any sense. So I don't know why the fuck I said that. They have a whole regime change. I don't think they're going to start off well. I think it's going to be a little bit of a struggle at first, especially for Janie McDaniels. As long as the Bucks can stop Janie McDaniels from running the football himself, I think the Bucks are going to win this game. I'm still going to pick Tampa Bay over them. Tampa Bay didn't really change much. They re-signed all their guys. They signed Tristan Wirfs to a big deal. So Tampa Bay over the Commanders. Sunday night game could be the best game of the year. Not the year, the best game of the week, if not Monday night. Rams at Lions, rematch of last year's NFC wildcard game. Rams losing Aaron Donald, we'll see how much it affects them, but they drafted a couple of defensive linemen to try to replace them. Defense, who knows how good the defense will be without Aaron Donald. Lions, they signed their key guys. They signed Penei Sewell, Amon-Ra St. Brown. They signed a defensive lineman in DJ Reader, who I like a lot, and they drafted a whole bunch of defensive backs. So the main question is, can the Lions defense step up and be better? Because they were I believe they were in like the middle of the pack last year, like 16 or something. But I'm gonna pick Detroit at home. It's gonna be a close game like it was last year. I'm gonna pick the same score. It's gonna be 24-3. And Monday night, the Jets and the Niners. The Niners are obviously still the NFC favorite to win the whole conference, and I believe they will make it back to the NFC Championship game. They're going to face either Detroit again or Philadelphia again. That's my early prediction for the Niners. They signed all their guys. Brandon Ayuk took forever and a day. Trent Williams got re-signed shortly afterwards because he had no guaranteed money left on his contract. And so San Francisco didn't really. I believe this is San Francisco's last year to take advantage of the Brock Purdy contract, because after this year, whether they win the Super Bowl or not, the team is going to change a lot. The whole team is going to change completely, because you're going to sign him to at least a $55 million a year deal, most likely more. So probably around $60 million a year Brock Purdy could be making. And for the Jets, they won 7 games last year with really bad quarterback play. So the number one question for them is, can Aaron Rodgers stay healthy, play more than 4 fucking plays? That's really all it matters for the Jets. And they were stupid enough to not give Hassan Reddick a contract. So he's still going to be holding out for however long he wants to hold out for. But in this game, I don't know who to pick. This is going to be a really close game. I think it's going to be low scoring and very close, but I think I'm going to go with the upset here. I'm going with the Jets over the 49ers. And that's it for the week 1, the 2-game recap for opening week / predictions. I will be back with another video with my division predictions and biggest questions for each team. And also, I am going to be I'm hopefully going to be streaming again tonight, so stay tuned for that. Please subscribe, like, and comment. See you all next time.